In this video, we will discuss about analyzing difference in economic development among countries with similar climates, ASEAN.
ASEAN is an organization of South Asian countries consisting of 10 members. These countries have similar climates, making them equally vulnerable to climate change and weather variability. These climatic similarities have shaped their lifestyles, production sectors, and vulnerability to natural phenomena such as El Niño and La Niña. Despite their similar climates, the levels of economic development among ASEAN countries vary greatly, from Singapore with its advanced surface and technology-based economy. This study used 10 key indicators of economic development, ranging from GDP to economic sustainability, which are interrelated and pose challenge in analysis.
Therefore, this study uses principal component analysis or PCA as the main analysis method to simplify data complexity without losing essential information. The data used in this study was obtained from the World Bank or World Development Indicator covering the period 2000 to 2019. There are 21 indicator variables. The data analysis in the study was performed using the R statistical software environment.
The scribbled graph shows the proportion of variance explained by each principal component. The first component is dimension 1, explained approximately 41% of the total data variation, while the second component is dimension 2, explained 23.2% of the total data variation. Starting from the third component onwards, each component explains less than 10% of the variance. Therefore, the first and the second component are suitable for further analysis and cluster visualization.
The elbow meta chart shows that the elbow point occurs at approximately K was 4, where the decline in the total within sum of square began to plateau. This indicates that partitioning the data into cluster location is an optimal choice, as it balances within cluster variance and model complexity. Based on the determination of the number of the clusters, the PCA plot with key means clustering results shows that the data is divided into 4 main groups. Visually, each cluster represents a group of countries with similar economic characteristics. For example, countries such as Singapore and Brunei Darussalam are likely to belong to a cluster with advanced economy, characterized by high incomes and high productivity. Meanwhile, countries such as Cambodia, Myanmar may belong to the cluster with lower PCA values, indicating an economy based on agriculture and domestic consumption. Interestingly, the movement of point based on year also shows the dynamic of economic development. Some countries have moved closer to the cluster of development countries over time. There is something interesting about the results of this cluster. If you focus on Indonesia, at the beginning of the period around 2000 to 2006, Indonesia was in cluster 4, which was characterized by low scores on dimension 1 and relatively high scores on dimension 2. This picture shows that during this phase, Indonesia still had the characteristic of developing economy. Per capita income and GNI were still low. Labor productivity levels were not yet high. The agriculture sector still plays as a major role in labor absorption. Digital connectivity and access to electricity or internet are still limited. In other words, Indonesia economic in early 2000 was still oriented toward traditional sectors and household consumption, in line with the characteristic of Cluster 4. However, a significant transformation was seen in the 214 to 218 period, when Indonesia moved to Cluster 3. This new cluster has the following characteristic: relatively higher dimension 1 value, indicating increased welfare, digitalization, and productivity. More moderate dimension 2 value, signifying a decline in the role of the consumption and agriculture sectors, which are being replaced by service and medium-high industries. Interpretatively, this shift marks Indonesia's transformation into a group of upper-middle-income countries, positioned between agrarian developing countries and developed countries. This change is driven by structural economic transformation, infrastructure growth, and increased purchasing power of the people.